Barden. You still feel your pulse fluttering. Like you are hanging suspended in the air above the deck of a ship that shrinks and shrinks and shrinks beneath you. But your feet are on solid ground. You're supported by Tazriel as you make your way down beneath the deck of the Lomi Sailor. The rock that all of you have just finished defending yourselves against moments before has disappeared beyond the horizon, and the crew have tentatively begun to reemerge from canopies and below deck to set sail on your course once again from Aethrai to the Tomb Loft. The rest of you on the deck of the ship, still catching your breath. What do you do?
Barden heads down, wants to lay down, wants to rest for a bit, just maybe conk out. What kind of bedding situation here? Because part of me is imagining hammocks.
Yes, exactly. Lots and lots of hammocks, mostly blue cotton that's woven from sort of a similar thick material that some of your clothing might be made out of, might actually be harvested from the goats, sheep goats that you had seen.
In peace.
Yeah. I imagine they've all tucked their bags down here at one point, so she finds the one that she's thrown her bag nearby and just sits down and thanks Tazriel and just starts stripping of all the ruined clothes that she now has to clean. And definitely has to do it before they pass or go into the tomb loft. Just the vest, the shirt, the undershirt, everything's off apart from like under things, and she just sort of throws them beside the hammock and just settles herself in and just tries to sleep. Hopes that will help. Just a hand over the marks in her chest where the talons went in, where they've just started healing, and just...
How quickly does Barden usually fall asleep? Because I want to do something, but it would not happen until about 20 minutes after that, I'd say.
I'd say the minute she wants to fall asleep, so she's going to.
Oh, conk. Amazing. Yeah, about 20 minutes later, Oish makes their way in, down below deck, I suppose, and makes their way towards Barden's bed. I can roll stealth if needed.
Sure, yeah.
Sexy.
Give me that stealth check.
What if I'm like super stealthy and the scene ends because I'm just so good? I think that'd be fun. I need to look up my stats.
Were you still a little floored today?
Not today. Today I'm good.
Got it.
So no disadvantages on anything. I got a... What is my stealth? I got a 14. What's Barden's passive perception?
Is 14, I believe. If I remember correctly, it might be higher now.
15.
How sexy. So yeah, Oish quietly makes her way towards you and is fairly quiet. But I don't know, for whatever reason, you sense it, Barden. I don't know if you're still on edge from the fucked shit that just happened to you or what.
Yeah, I can imagine that. She's just going to, she notices, kind of wakes, creeps an eye open, and waits to see what's going to happen.
They stop. Stare at you.
All right.
I thought you were sleeping.
I think I was. It's a weird thing about sleep. You never really know when you're having it, do you?
I disagree. I was just... And they look down at the tattered remains of your clothes on the floor. And then point and say, I could help with those.
She sits up in the bed, and the bedclothes come down in bare chest. Doesn't give a shit. You could. You really could. I didn't think any of us could do that. I was gonna give it a go with Matthias's sewing kit later, but if you could do something, that'd be amazing.
I can. And Oish picks up the shirt first. I'm guessing that's what's taken the most damage. And stares at it for a moment, and you just see a bit of a quirked smile. And they do say, these are already ruined. So if I am not successful, you will not be angry at me.
Why would I be angry? I mean, you're trying to help, right? Nothing to be angry at.
That is an answer. And they take one rune, they like whisper a word under their breath, and 2 runes on their wrist alight. They take their index finger and their thumb and press each finger into those runes and then lift them off of their skin. So they are sitting atop of their fingers, and then take one of the biggest tears in Barden's clothing and kind of like press the runes together like an iron and run it along the ripped seam. And then as it runs along, you watch the fabric mend as Oish casts mending.
That's... That's nifty. She was just steadily watching as you were as she was taking the runes away, and just, is that how you do all your spells? Sorry, glitch for a second. Could you repeat?
Oh, she just said some.
That's nice. I mean, it's the bit of a small use on my clothes. All the power. But thank you. It means I don't have to explain to my dad that I got attacked by a giant bird.
That's
If we see
something that
him.
you would like to explain to him?
No. Because if he finds out, I might have some trouble leaving. So, I appreciate it.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
Go ahead.
You don't want to fuck me. And I have a fairly confident analysis that you are not trying to gather information on me to fuck me over. Why so much interest in all of this? Gesturing to the tattoos that Barton had tried to look at before.
Because you're interesting. Haven't you wanted to know things just to know?
Constantly.
I mean, I grew up in a library. It's kind of a trait you gotta be grown up with. And I grew up with sirens, so double. But it's new. Like, Darren is new. Never seen anything like the two of you.
Maybe you just haven't traveled further south enough. Regardless, your father won't know about this. And continues to mend the clothing, and after the shirt is completely mended but still has like the blood all over it, Oish casts a few prestidigitations to remove what blood is left. It leaves it smelling a little bit like leather and whiskey.
Could you give me a perception check, Oish?
Mm-hmm. Not very good. Hang on. I gotta look at what my perception is. That's a 10.
All right. I will just say, since you're looking very closely as you're pulling over Barton's clothes and their shirt, you notice this fun detail that you sort of like pull the shirt over, some rips and tatters as you're cleaning some blood off of the sort of vest waistcoat that they have, and then the crop top that they wear under. Looks like a lot of Barton's clothes have this sort of like adjustable aspect to them, where you could like wear them inside out to show different details, or you could adjust like certain lengths, or you could detach parts of the vest or the waistcoat to like stylize an outfit in different ways. An outfit that obviously could take a lot of wear and tear, besides the claws of a rock, the belts and the buckles that are very elegant and beautiful. Everything is built to be sustainable and used in a variety of different fashions.
Little bit of a bitter smirk, and they look up and say, "Expensive."
Well, worth it. And I mean, some of it, I mean, if you look and if you do turn the collar inside out, you see on the inside of it, there is embroidery, like long lines of flowers just on each side of the collar. That, my friend did that. That was, so technically that was free, but it's nice, you know.
I see. And there was something that I wanted to pick up in this scene. Can I roll perception to pick it up? Or should I keep the one that I had?
No, I think that was just specifically for you taking the time as you're looking over the clothes. If there's something else you're looking at Barton, then it would be a separate perception check.
Okay.
There's a lot to look at.
There's something... That is the distraction. There's something that I have noticed, but I don't know if Awaish has, so I would like to have Awaish notice it if possible.
Yeah, give me that check.
You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's better. That's a 15. Do I notice Barton's jewelry?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to describe your jewelry, Shan?
So, in the ear of the side of the moonstruck face on the vitiligo, Barton has a single silver earring, it's silver and in the shape of an eye, with a few eyelashes coming down from it. It kind of sometimes hides under the wisps of her hair, but it's kind of obvious given that she's not wearing much and her hair's pulled back because it's covered in bloody blood.
Yeah.
So,
And I think Awais just hasn't noticed it because beyond that first meeting, they haven't really seen Barton in close quarters. Their eyes sharpen for a moment, and it's barely perceptible. I don't know if Barden would notice it, but they nod to it and say, "A gift?"
Oh, this? Yeah. From Siren. I think I was 18, just before I went out to Corinth.
You said
It's
you
like-
liked reading.
Yes, I do.
Several different genres.
Can I do an insight?
I don't think you need one here. I'd rather you just answer if you think Barton would answer.
Barden leans as well as she can. I imagine she sort of sat back up in the hammock because it's easier. Just leans forward. So just in your space, ready to move back. I love poetry the best. And leans back again.
A little more fun than you let on.
I'm more than most people think.
Interesting journey that you found yourself on.
Journey of discovery, in many ways.
With a puppet of Fulcrum and a hand of the Raj, dear Barden.
Lots of things to learn, isn't there?
You have a good day.
You too. Thank you again.
Yeah, Oish finishes mending the rest of Barden's clothing. And then stands. They don't seem much warmer towards Barden, but there is an interest. And they head out.
I think when they do, Barden leans down, picks up their shirt, turns it inside out so the embroidery shows. And she just rubs her thumb over it and leans back in the hammock and tries to get an hour or something in. Just some sleep.
And that's where we'll leave that scene. Return back up to the deck of the ship.
With that conversation with Barden done, heads up above deck. Somebody is there.
Yeah, I think Taz is sitting like on a barrel like nearest where you'd go down, like just kind of waiting, like writing in a notebook right now, but then looks up and sees you.
Barest of glances, ignores you and goes to walk past.
Wait, please.
What?
I stand up. I made a mistake. There are a lot of things I can't be honest about in the work that I do, but I chose not to be honest when we were leaving to go, when we separated from the others.
Yes.
I told Barden that we were off to get into some shenanigans as a backup plan in case something happened. And I didn't tell you that's what I had done because and if I'm wrong about that, about my reasoning, I'm sorry. I thought telling you we had some backup in case things went wrong would have you consider not doing this at all with me, and I needed the distraction. I desperately needed the distraction.
Is that all that you lied about?
Yes.
Asriel. I think it has become fairly apparent that I am not on this mission to make friends. However, when I engage in something beyond the parameters of this mission, there is a certain level of trust that I require. If you are not able to be honest about something as small as that, how can I trust you to not betray me when it is something more important?
And Taz just looks at you and sighs. I would ask the same thing in your place. I don't know how to assure you of that, save for offering you some truth. Anything you ask, the next time you ask it. Full honesty, regardless of what it's about. Any question of your choice, that is a promise.
Consider the trust earned.
Small smile. I'll sit down and go back to my writing in my journal.
And Awaish walks off.
Hello. Welcome back to Strange Hungers. Of course, you've already been watching Strange Hungers, but welcome back to us, live. We reunite with the party on a boat sailing the lower floodlands of Skyholm as they recover from their fight with a rock. Barden has descended below decks to recover, but Kiara, you've just emerged to see the aftermath after a deep, deep sleep. See the aftermath of this fight. The bird winging its way away on the horizon. Vice steps down from the railing, wipes off the blood from her rapier with her black glove, and spits over the side of the railing. As you see Oesh, Matthias, and Tazriel still on deck.
So, where are people?
If you look in Multiverse, you will see.
Aha.
I did help to carry young Master Barden down to their bed before they passed out. But then probably came back up, and that might be what you're running into. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Taz was helping me as well. Don't mind me. I'm just zooming my camera in.
So when Kiara walks up and sees Matthias, and maybe Matthias and Taz have just deposited Barden, immediately she's gonna run up to them and just say, "Oh my God, what happened? I just heard some screeching and some screaming, and the next thing, someone said that Barden was incredibly injured. Is she okay? Should I go down and heal her? What's going on?"
She's been healed a little bit, right? Correct? She's doing okay.
Just a little.
She's
Okay. Are the two of you okay? Do you need healing?
And I just kind of like a huge beak mark in my chest. Have a little bit of healing would be nice.
Oh my god, hold on one second. And Kiara is just gonna immediately grab for their waist and pull up their holy symbol, and just kind of there's no standing on ceremony. Taz bared his chest, so we're taking that as consent. And Kiara is going to put her hand on his chest and cast. We have leveled up, right?
Yes.
All right, we are casting Cure Wounds at a 2nd level.
Lovely. So a reminder that is going to be 3d8.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
You've got
Things
that
are getting-
spicy healing.
Things are getting spicy in this. All right.
Are you using a warlock or a cleric?
I don't, because it's 2nd level, I think it has to be cleric.
Cleric, yes.
Because I don't think I have warlock 2nd level spells yet.
Not yet.
Mm-mm. But this is dire we're using, and there's not at all any sort of guilt coming into burning big magic after a fight you missed. That is a 5, and a 6. So that is a
Dang.
16 plus 3.
Wow.
That's
That's
a chunk.
yeah.
As you feel a familiar warm heat diffuse through your body.
That's a big chunk of healing.
Oh my god. And then once Kiara's hand is on your chest, her eyes close reflexively, and the warmth flows from her body through her hand into your chest. And once she feels the healing take, she'll pull her hand away and kind of immediately look just as contrite as before. "I'm so sorry. I didn't expect all of that to happen while I was down. I was just trying to prepare my spells and
None
have a conversation.
none of
I'm so
us
sorry."
expected it.
It's fine. We're all safe. We're all alive.
I know, but I'm here on. I'm a part of this crew to help, and it's just okay. Well, I guess this means now I can never leave you alone again. So I hope that makes you happy.
There's a look from Awaish, I think, at that, even though Sarah is not here to give it.
I mean, listen, you did this to yourself. Just okay. Yes. If I do leave you alone, please do not get injured ever. That's my only humble request.
I can heal us a little bit.
As can I.
A little bit.
Though
And
not as effectively as you can, I think, Kiara.
that's very sweet, but I'm very glad that it's not just me. I take it you must have been the one to help Barden?
Only a little bit. I think it was a
Good.
group effort.
Okay. Good. I will go I'll let her rest. But I'll go check on her later.
There is more to do up here. Actually,
Yes.
I think that even as we continue, we might as well go check on those farmers.
Of course. Yes.
Think
Please
that
just
would
lead
be
the way.
apt to his vice. She begins to signal to Captain Dropness and the rest of the crew as they emerge back from some of the canopies that they had put up for the rain, where they were taking shelter from the direct eyesight of the rock. They begin to take those down now that the storm has actually stopped as the rock made its way away, although it's pushing into evening here as you are all slowly catching your breath and recovering. They begin to direct the ship again. They lift those anchors over the side, those grained, sort of spiky, urchin-like salt balls that they had dropped over to let the ship drag to a halt, pulling those up. And you can see, it looks like some of the sky flat farmers are pulling their bedraggled sheep sort of out of the water and then like replacing them back by some salt crystal boulders. A few of them wave to you as you pass. Shoats.
The little
Sheep goats.
shoats.
Very cute.
Give a wave.
Yeah. Looks of gratitude. You see a bird that big could have taken all of their lives if the boat hadn't been a bigger target. So. Drockness as well, the captain, dressed in his leathers, as I said, bit of scruff, paler skin, walks over to, I think, you, Matthias, and Vice. It's a bit unusual how one of those things come down from the mountain ranges. Must be getting hungry.
Very unusual.
Well, we're very glad you were here with us, you and your crew from Markard.
Glad to have been of help.
That thing could have ripped my lovely boat to shreds. He pats the railing with a fondness. I think, honestly, not much of a delay. So, I think it should only be another day before we make a stop over by the tomb loft you said you wanted.
Yes. I think that's in order. Thank you.
All right. Oh, that sounds good. I'll let my crew know that they can have the evening off. There's a pretty popular tavern there that some of us are fond of. So
good. Please.
All right.
At your leisure. You deserve it, and so do they.
Yes, I certainly think so. Drockness waves over to Ariadne, the salt mage, who is looks a bit sweaty. She folds down one of these canopies. Clear anxiety on her face. But that being said, the crew began to slowly push the boat forward. Once again, if there's anything else you guys would like to do as you continue your journey this evening.
Matthias is just clearly, even though he still has stone face, is pacing probably a bit more than usual, and will take the time to clean his sword with very intent motions, and then will probably spend the rest of the evening on his guard. Not really. I don't think he really talks to anybody. He's just looking.
That being said, Barton, I know you went to below deck to rest to get a few hours of sleep, so you do gain the benefits of a short rest, which of course allows you to spend hit dice if you would like to heal back up a little bit in this moment. I would say, judging by where the sun is cresting over the horizon now, you guys have maybe 4 more hours of travel before you pause for the night.
Yeah. I got nothing. Anybody else?
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that Kiara's gonna periodically check in on Barden. And as long as she's asleep, they won't wake her. But if she's awake at any point, she's gonna come in and chat. So, I mean, that's just a throughout the night thing, kind of.
I think it depends on your stealth.
want to give me a stealth check, Yara?
Just Kiara creeping on, like, I'll be quiet, no one will.
Listen, she is covered in jangly things.
That is true.
That's a 12.
No.
15. Yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe like the third time you come down to check in on her and she kind of... Kiara, is it dark? Dark by now.
I mean, you're below decks, right? So.
There's gotta be a lamp on. But yeah, just, Kiara, are you alright?
I'm okay. I didn't want to wake you. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to make sure you're okay. I should have been there with you.
It's fine. You were doing something, and She sits up in her seat and in her hammock with a little bit of difficulty because low decks, and just see, I'm fine. I'm up. I'm alive. I've got a few, well, first scars, so that's interesting. So that's cool. There are like 2 big gouges in her side where the rock has grabbed, and she's just like, see, I'm alive. I'm fine.
Hold on, and I think Kiara's gonna just drag, like, take her leg and pull a stool over and sit down next to the hammock. Let's see, can I see how good a job they did?
Yeah, of course. Just pulls off the rest of the blanket again, bare chested, and just sits up and goes, "Have us."
Okay. And then I think Kiara is gonna let's see, what can we do? She does have light, so she's going to put her symbol into Barden's hand to hold on to, and
What is it?
well, her holy symbol. It's
I don't
actually
think I've seen up close yet. And
I think
Barden is very curious. Just
so her holy symbol for, I think it's a hearth with a flame in it, because
Cute.
this is her cleric holy symbol, and what she casts her cleric magic through. So she's gonna hold that, put that in your hand, and close her eyes just for a second and focus. And when she puts her hand away, the symbol glows with a bright light. And okay, just can you move your hand right here? Just here, we can turn it away, and so just to kind of help light up, it kind of works as like a little spotlight to help focus so she can see clearly.
Yeah, sure.
And then she's just gonna do some medic-y examination things, make sure,
Gotta fully examine this person,
Of course.
obviously.
yeah.
Like-
Well, I mean, it was Taz's first time with a healing kit, right? So I mean, there's a difference between like triage and actual bandaging of wounds for longer term care. So, and I think she's gonna dump some little a couple of cure wounds in there. We're gonna do some warlocky ones, especially since you seem to be stable, but it's just kind of like this is more for like the pain, I think. Kind of takes the sting out of things.
Yeah, it does kind of ache when I move. Like, getting up was a bit not great.
Yeah. So let's say she puts in both her warlock cure wounds in. So it's gonna be 2 first level spells.
That'll be 2d8 2 separate times.
Okay. So the first one has a 6 and an 8, because these dice love you. So that's a 14 plus 3.
17.
And then, this not so much this time. And then 9 more.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that puts me up to almost to 4 health. Yeah, Barton probably looks way better. Just eyes are clearer, just blinking less, and looks less hazy. would they have healed a bit better on the torso? Do you think?
This
I
is
would say-
magical healing at this point, right? So
Kiara's magical healing is quite effective. She's even been trained in it in some ways, especially with ties to Bane, who is often associated with clerics of light and healing. The Raj are known to be able to take like very severe burns and leave you with unblemished skin, that kind of thing.
I think Bon looks down and is just like, that's weird, but I think I'll miss it.
no,
It's kind of nice to have a physical reminder. I don't know.
well, I mean, I cannot say that you may. Maybe there'll be a little a little twinge in the cold. I don't know, of old wounds. I've heard that's the thing people feel.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
But if I had to guess, Barden, this is probably going to be the first of many scars you acquired while protecting us.
I mean, I hope the next time we don't end up. Yeah.
What?
No, just it was. Everyone got a bit hurt, and that's it.
That's not what you were going to say, though. We don't keep secrets. Tell me.
Baden flushes, and she's like, "You might get upset if I tell you, and I don't want to
might get
upset you."
if you don't.
Okay. The rock almost took me. 100, like, way up in the air. Like, it was a close thing.
What?
I mean, but at least who can say that they've been that high and survived, right? Who can say that they've flown like that? Not an aristocrat, I guess.
Okay, I know you're a strong girl and capable and mighty and everything, and I trust you with my life, but I need you to be more careful.
I was trying, and just she kind of for a big half-orc, she kind of like shrinks down at being told off. Just like, I did try. It just
Did
kind
you
of.
try by jumping into its arms?
You can ask. I didn't. They just grabbed me and just. It went. And she just puts her hands down and puts her hands around Kiara's, and they're big, and they just envelop her. It's just, I'll try my best not to get kidnapped by any more birds. Tell you that.
We don't need the qualifier of the birds just at all. It'd be great. I don't know if you can tell, but we need you.
Yeah, I am
You're
glad
very
it was.
important.
Yeah, I am a tank. I can take the damage. That's
No,
what
I
I'm
don't
for.
want you there to just absorb the hits. I want you there because you're important. And you are invaluable. Barden, you
Okay.
have more to offer to us than just your ability to fight. You know that, right?
Takes Kiara's hand, just puts it over her heart, and just like, it's nice to hear it sometimes.
Well, I
Oh,
would
it
need
is.
every day.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Also, just Kiara's hand is warm, isn't it? Yeah.
Always.
She just sort of melts at the heat. Just, I forgot how warm you are. Crazy. That must be the whole. And so, do you want us to start calling you by? You know, you have that long name. You don't want that, do you?
I mean, you could, but I think Kiara works.
Oh yeah, Kiara's lovely. Just wanted to check.
We're okay. Now, is there room in that hammock for me?
I was literally about to ask if you wanted to. So, same minds. Absolutely. She just holds herself back in, settles, and is just like, well, since you fixed me up.
Yes,
You know.
I won't damage you any further, hopefully. And Kiara's gonna
Yes.
climb into the hammock and curl up with her bestie.
Arm round. It's like, you also know that we don't just have you around just because you can heal, right? Just
Oh.
so nuzzles her cheek against top of Kiara's head. It's just like, you're wonderful. You know that.
I'm a very good heating bag too, but she says it with a laugh. You know, she's not serious.
I mean, do appreciate that. You're going to be my bloody sleeping body during this thing. I'm not going to be nice and cozy.
Yes, we are.
Well, Barton heads back to sleep.
Snuggle.
Laying claim to the literal Princess of Fire before you go into the wastes.
Cool.
I realized something while this interaction was happening. Just to backtrack for a second, when Kiara healed me and I like had my shirt open, she would have like seen like kind of like what looked like a little bit of a roadmap on my chest with like roadmap on. Like Taz is very clearly super injured and like, okay, not even thinking, just opening up his chest, like kind of like a roadmap tattoo, like maybe seeing a little bit of like what you would assume what a capital city's like point in a map would look, but also like when you touch me, there were like these raised, like a lot of raised and like short, jagged scars on my chest as well. Yeah.
Does Kara recognize the roadmap?
I'll take a history check.
Sweet.
I didn't get to see the roadmap tattoo. I'll just say that. I didn't get to see it. And we fucked.
I have a thing I wear when I sleep with people.
Oh no, I get it.
So that was not a great history check. It was a 12.
A 12? Well, pardon me for one moment. There we go. Yes, it would be familiar to you, especially because it is a map of the country that you grew up in.
Okay. No. That's what I figured. There's a chance.
Yeah.
If it was like Barton, Kiara wouldn't even bother. Like, there's no chance. But Taz is the one person there's a chance with.
Yeah, I would say specifically like where certain cities might be laid out. This roadmap, you just generally pick up even from a quick glance that Taz has some kind of tattoo that represents Abjor and locations that are marked within Abjor.
Okay. All right. I think Kiara just, puts that. It's not the time to grill Taz about a tattoo while healing him. So, but she puts that away.
Yeah. All right. Then with that, pushing forward into the evening, you can all gain the benefits of a long rest on this boat here. And we push in the 30th day of Ruo. Sun rises seedy and clear. You begin to see this morning the edge of the lower floodlands. Now, the way that the geography is arranged here in Skyhome, usually when you are sailing or walking or pushing your way through the floodlands, there's this illusion, this optical illusion of seamless, endless horizon. The clouds, sunset, storm, whatever is above you, reflected below you as well. But as you push towards the edge of the basin of the lower floodlands, you actually do begin to see sort of the edges, these crystalline beaches that you're passing by. And I wouldn't say, you're not getting super, super close to the coastline, but it's more like the actual depth of the water is getting much, much shallower, and Captain Dropness and his crew are navigating around these areas where some of the water is evaporating, and farmers are actually harvesting salt that's come to the surface as it's drying. It's also a little bit warmer today. Weather is clear, even though it's, I would still say, lightly chilly. It is a much nicer day than ones you felt before.
Can I have gotten up a little bit earlier than usual to go knock on Barton's door?
You mean Barton's hammock? Yeah.
To go up to Barton's hammock.
Knock,
yes.
knock, bitch. Wake up. Dumps her out of the hammock.
Yes.
Kiara's in there too.
Yeah. Y'all are two peas in a goddamn pod.
Like I walk up expecting Barden to be alone in their hammock, but then also not being surprised that Kiara is in the hammock. I think I'd like. I want to go, but I don't want to wake up Barden if Barden is not already awake.
No one wants to wake up Barden.
Depends how early it is. Like, the sun up?
Maybe like an hour earlier than we probably would have gotten up.
So then probably Barden and Kara would be finishing their long rest still.
Yeah, she might be sort of... She's probably awake, but is too cozy to move and is afraid of waking up Kiara because otherwise she'll lose, you know, this coziness. So, like, if he comes up, she'll kind of just nod.
And I'm just looking over the two of them and whispering because I don't want to wake Kiara up now either.
Barden's just like, mind thing.
And yeah, I'll use one of my things and just
Cozy's back up.
Who cares if I can only use this once a day? It's worth it. For this,
I can use it multiple times a day.
Oh.
As long as I'm not out of dice.
Barden doesn't know, but Barden's like, this is something he can do, right?
I was also going to say that I'm pretty sure it's well established that Kiara's a heavy sleeper.
it's true.
yes, we fully established.
yeah. So either way. Up to
No,
you.
I'm gonna do it. Actually, it's perfect. I'm gonna do it. And then I think I'll just go pull up a barrel and like sit or something. I didn't come and check on you last night. I wanted you to sleep and rest, and I'm assuming Kiara took great care of you.
Oh yeah, she made sure it with the scar. So don't have to explain that to anyone, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of touch my chest. Yes, me as well.
Yours is okay.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was pointy.
Very, very pointy, very...
Very dangerous. I only read about them, but you know, you read 200th foot and you don't really know it until you're picked up by one.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. I was worried, and also you can't die yet. I have a lot of questions. Well, that's not the only reason why you can't die, but I have a lot of questions, like the tail.
yeah, as soon as you say questions, she sort of like tenses up a little bit, just like a little. And as soon as you say the tail, she just... You all saw then.
Yeah.
Did you all see?
I think so.
Okay. Can I ask that if you have questions, fine. Please, everything. Don't tell my dad you saw.
Planning on telling your father
If we pass through Nook
anything.
and he's there, just please don't.
Not a word.
Thank you.
Are you like me? And like my tail's just swishing around.
Well, I don't technically know if I am or not. I don't exactly know everything about where I came from, so it's a possibility, but I don't think it's quite like you. Mine doesn't stay, as it were. I don't show it to a lot of people. A lot of people get very judgmental. You know, strange things.
You'll have no judgment from me. I just and my curiosity isn't more important than your comfort, so
It's... You can see Barden's shifting a little bit in her hammock. Her arms are still around Kiara and just sort of rubbing her thumb up Kiara's back, as if it's more of a soothing gesture to Barden rather than Kiara. It's very hard to explain. It's to do with when I get angry, I guess. High emotions. I try my best not to let it out. You get that, right?
yes.
I don't know where it comes from. I just do my best to keep it under.
Do you want to know where it comes from?
Every moment. But there's only so much research can do. And there are so many. And she laughs out of her head. It's just bitter. It is a bitter sound. There's so many that will hurt you for it. And try to ruin everything you work for it. So sometimes it's safer for everyone involved to bury it.
I get up from where I'm sitting and go like walk over by the hammock and kind of just reach out and like rub Barden's shoulder.
She leans her cheek against your hand, and there's a second of almost pure bliss as she's surrounded by care, and she's just waits for you to keep talking, but that's how she looks for that moment.
One of these days, I'll tell you a story. And, I think you'll know I understand.
Do I have to wait till I can say it in Orcish? Teasing. She's trying to bring the mood back.
Maybe. We'll see.
She presses her cheek against your hand. Thank you. I'll talk with the others as well about what they saw, just to make sure. And also, please, love God. All the gods, whatever you support. Don't tell anyone about the rock.
The only thing I will be discussing is our Orcish lessons. That's it. The safest thing.
That sounds good.
We'll be able to do this for a couple of hours.
Nice.
I'll let you go back to cuddling. And
yeah,
then
she settles back, squeeze, and then closes her eyes.
DM, do I have any knowledge on what Barden has described to me here? Does anything sound familiar? Because Chaz is thinking like a Vic is thinking a were creature of some sort, but
depending on your best guess, if you're thinking if you think Barden is some kind of were creature, that would be nature. If you are, it depends on what kind of knowledge you're pulling from here. Do you think that this might be something you studied at the Ignis Royal Academy? Do you think this might be something that you know of just because you spent time near like the Ungekwan, that forest, and it's like kind of just growing up in a region that has certain dangerous creatures? Do you think you've like fought or killed something that Barden might be like? What are you pulling from?
Shit, that is a really great question. It's either the Ungekwan or the fought and killed part. I don't think. I think
Okay.
there's like some very standard things that we learn at the academy, like consistent things. I don't think this would be one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll say you don't have a lot of information, but I will allow you to take. This will be a history check because it is pulling from your history or nature. I would say nature if you prefer because of the Ungekwan. You've given me a good enough reason for either of those roles.
I'll go with nature.
Nature. Okay, great.
Come on. 20 not natural.
20 not natural. All right, I will say this much. And this is maybe a difficult realization for you, Taz. A person in this world who demonstrates certain attributes, showing a tail when they don't usually appear to have one, would be considered by most people dangerous, even wild. WYLD. This could be a sign of some kind of corruption. You've even seen, growing up near the Ungekwan, people who've wandered into the woods come back growing strange bark-like antlers or teeth protruding from their mouth, from their neck, from their shoulders, like they've stumbled into a bear and then come out merged with it. Barden could be in some way touched or tainted by the wild. This seems less to you like the manifestations of a were creature, but with as high of a role as that. I do think that Taz has probably encountered and maybe, if not killed, then heard stories of certain were creatures in the Empire. Specifically, there is known to be a were-rat infestation in the Deltine Valley. And this is less like... I say infestation because they're not your typical were creatures. They manifest certain attributes of bloodlust, specifically related to Bane. And often you wouldn't really call them... they don't have like a certain consciousness. They're kind of possessed by a rat mind at all times, even if they're able to hide it. But that being said, sort of like a interesting backstory that Taz might have had, historical knowledge. Barden doesn't seem to have that bloodlust either. It's just there are people you know who would see something like that and report it. Maybe have Barden brought in for questioning about kind of wild forces that she'd encountered, if she had strange urges, if she wanted to hurt people because
Strange
of
huggers?
Maybe strange huggers. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. As Taz is like walking back up to the deck of the ship to help with things and is thinking through all this, his face just like starts off with like, okay, Barden's fine, and then I'm thinking about it and just falls and more information, like, and not like a like, what am I gonna do about Barden kind of way, not like that kind of falls, but like kind of like a falling, but like recognizing like a kinship there kind of thing, sad but understanding, and that kind of facial expression.
Yeah, this force that you've seen touch people around you has been destructive in so many ways. Not just destructive to the people who are corrupted by it, but specifically to people around them. So it is a difficult realization.
Okay.
Would like to report I rolled a natural 1 and also a natural 20, and then I rolled a 1 on my d12. So
Nice.
that's cool and fun.
Oh, fabulous.
Matthias is up on the deck and he is ready to go, ready to set sail. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, then we push into our final day of travel towards Nook. It is a clearer day. It's a little bit easier today. If there's anything that anyone would like to do to assist with travel, you of course can continue some of the things you were doing with the crew. So let me
Strong
know.
boy things.
Strong boy things.
Yes.
Give me an athletics check.
Athletics. Athletics. Yoink. That's gonna. Oh, where's my character sheet? That's gonna be.
I got it 24.
20 for
Okay.
strong boy.
John just stretches and is like, oh, much better, and just picks up shit. Just going.
I got a 23.
And Kiara's
boy.
popping in guidances that here.
Oh, fabulous.
Aw.
Oh, I like that. Kiara, do you want to give me a Arcana check just to see like how
Yeah.
you can pop some guidances around on this crew, how much your sparkling spirit lifts them as they work?
Oh,
Oh,
shut
it
up.
does.
That's cute.
Oh, that's an
It does.
18.
Oh, nice, fabulous.
Yay.
Of course, if Taz wants to help, but I would say that just generally that is going to give you guys a fabulous quick day of travel. I also want to say, just for people who are watching, we're using the Campfire travel system by Abyssal Brews. You can see their cute little logo on our overlay. It is a wonderful, fabulous little system that allows you to resolve travel very fast. It also, we've set a travel DC that our characters are trying to beat when they make these checks to help out the crew in traveling. And our DC was 11 for today because the weather was better. So you guys are above and beyond, which means that it's actually going to significantly cut down your travel time towards getting to Nook, which is fabulous.
Whee!
So I think that as your boat sets off across the floodlands on this bright morning, as you finish off cups of tea, breakfasts, hardtack, etc., we're going to take a break right here, and we'll be back very soon with our special guest in the town of Nook.
Yeah! All right, everybody. Burb.
See you soon.
Burb.
Bye.
Bye. We're back.
Hello, welcome back to Strange Hungers. We have an unfamiliar face with us here today. I would love for everyone to welcome Andre. Oh my God,
Andre? Who's Andre?
I just roasted you and myself as soon as we got back. Andre, if you want to just tell people where they can find you, since we didn't have you on our little intro screen.
Yeah.
Where are you at on the internet?
Hey, I'm Andre. You can find me at Andre Rivera Art on Twitter and Twitch every blue moon or so. I'm a character designer and illustrator, mostly working in the TTRPG community. Check my Twitter if my commissions are open. You can also find me on here on Total Party Kiss on Sundays at 8:30, along with my buddy Sloan for Tragedy Theologian. I play Kashmir, the Wild Magic Minotaur Barbarian Bastard Man. And soon, I will be the co-GM along with Alex for an upcoming Unicorn Hunt long shot, which will be very fun.
Real good.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, we will meet Andre's lovely character in just a moment, but for now, as our party makes their way to the end of this first leg of their journey, we're going to zoom in and show you on this map here. You are approaching the Tomb Loft through the lesser salt lands, the lesser salt flats. You begin to see ahead of you, as Captain Dropness calls out orders to his crew, as Ariadne pauses in her spells and begins to let the boat slow down to a halt. You approach the docks on the edge of the familiar garden town of Nook. Now, Nook rests just on the edge of the beaches here. It spreads out and sprawls back towards the Asnan Mountains. But for what you can see mostly as you approach is that it is dwarfed, towered over by a single, solitary, dark shape. A cozy town, first, second, and third story buildings, open and sprawling. But behind it all, surrounded by crystalline boulders of salt, the entrance to the Tomb Loft. A building made entirely of dark blue marble that spirals, twists, and corkscrews towards the sky. Floating around it, you see silver stars hovering, bobbing gently, even in the earlier morning light. Runes swirling around it, writing that scrawls out in midair, erases itself, rewrites itself. Windows that shutter open and then close again. Doors that appear on the outside of this tower, swing open, a confused head pops its way through, looks down, closes it, steps back inside. Occasionally, birds appear out of nowhere, wing their way towards the town, pick up some package, travel back towards this entrance. At the very base of this massive tower, a set of silver doors, inset with a glowing blue eye, and stairs that wind their way down from this elevated position towards the town of Nook.
Where's Barden?
Barden is, as soon as they pulls the dock, she is up and out and just onto the dock itself, just like, everyone ready?
Yes, lead the way. Kiara's on your heels.
I mean, Matthias, I know are we just stopping for the night, or?
Yes, we'll be stopping here. The rest of the crew is going to take a much needed night off, so Wherever you'd like to go, you're free to go there.
Just a million, like, her eyes dart as she's thinking of all the things. I mean, we could stop for something to eat first, I guess. There is a nice pub down the way, but I would like to see if my dad's in, maybe, at some point.
Perfect.
Be a nice surprise. But yeah, do you want me to take you?
Love that.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I'm sure you've passed through here, Matthias. Or where was it that we had our little
I have.
do?
I've been here before. Not as many times as Aethrai, but still.
It's a bit smaller, isn't it?
Just a bit.
tiny. Okay.
Let's go get some food and then go see Dad.
All right. Then she'll take us over to Multiverse.
Ooh.
Nice stuff like that. Is it rations?
Yes, that would be nice. There we go. Yeah, you see, as you step out onto the dock here, the town of Nook spread out before you. The scent of fish in the air. It is bright this morning, so there are a few people out, but this is a town with a smaller population, and I think, Barden, you recognize probably most people around this town as you step out and walk through. There's a small market sort of right to your left that you can see stalls, fish, bread, the scent of familiar. There's a certain salty loaf that is very common to the Skyhome area that, of course, Barden is a familiar scent to you. And there's this little, like, sort of river pathway that is set down the middle of the town with bridges that you could step over it, just like a thin layer of water that you can walk down, cross over. Many more of these shoats here. Another interesting element of the town of Nook is that because it sits sort of right on the water, there's this like almost glassy cobblestone that the very like front end of the town is, and then sort of back up onto the, again, it's not really sand, it's more like salt sand that the beaches are made of, but the rest of the town sort of sits up on those salt beaches. But just like right by the edge of the water where it laps up, you can see that people are able to just sort of like walk out into the floodlands a little bit to treat their sheep or to harvest, because the like sort of front area that you've entered into, the water is tainted and tinged with a variety of iridescent colors. The chemicals in the water and the certain treatments that are laid out here allow for different kinds of harvestable salt. So there's these like very thin ropes that have been set out around certain paddocks, and you can see just like pools of water in pinks and greens and blues and reds and purples. Larger chunks, people who are just scooping up these rocks and carrying them back in towards the town.
This is so pretty.
It's so cool.
I can't get over it. It looks so good.
So
Pause.
Barden knows where they're going.
I suppose we're just following Barden. I would be following the bee man.
Barden, you'll see to your left.
Thank you. I was like, Barden knows. Shan does not.
But pausing for a moment as you all approach the outside of the tavern, we push indoors. Boggy, you find yourself inside the tavern known as Untold Stories. It is warm in here. Flickering lights, shelves and shelves that reach up to the massive 3-story building of carved trinkets. Every wall in here is covered with little statuettes, wood, metal, salt, hanging down from the ceiling, you can see there's a railing around the second and third stories where people are able to look down and over into this large building. Hanging from the ceiling, baubles, similar to the ones that you had seen floating outside that tower as you approached this town. Silver and twinkling, dancing lights that hover around and often swoop down to help someone read a menu or select a drink, since it's a little bit darker on the lowest story here. As well, hanging on these shelves, you see skulls, antlered skulls around the room. It's so crowded and busy in terms of the visual aesthetic here that it makes the open space, the emptiness, the way that the tables are spread out, the comfortable cushions that are set up on it, makes it feel very homey. Would you describe your character for us?
Yeah. So Foggy is a little blonde, monkey-looking tidal gnome, and uses he/they pronouns. And they have seaweed wraps around both of their like forearms and around their head, like as like a little bandana. They've got a vest, another like actual bandana wrapped around their neck, more like a neckerchief sort of thing, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Some patchwork pants, and their hair is very poofy, not with volume, but with static electricity. And also on his shoulder, he has what looks to be like a flying fish, but it is like perched like a parrot. And wait, hold on. It's Foggy. Foggy is currently holding a fish. Don't worry.
Lovely. Foggy. We can put Foggy sort of outside of the. Oh, there! Oh, look how handsome! Oh my gosh!
Oh god,
if you
there
want
he
to
is!
put him, on the outside, sort of the left outside of the tavern, that would be a great place for Foggy to stand.
Oh,
Yes,
Fogster!
but, Foggy, you find
Okay.
yourself inside the tavern here.
Okay, I'm going.
Well, you don't have to actually go inside. But,
Okay.
I love him.
Where do you think Foggy would sit? This is a pretty sprawling open tavern. It's got a 3-sided bar that's set all the way around the outside with these, like, again, like towering shelves and towering stories that go up. There's seating on the second and third stories, as well as this, like, sort of front entrance cozy area with couches.
Mm-hmm. I think Foggy would feel most comfortable at the highest point possible in the tavern.
Oh my gosh,
if that means climbing those little baubles, if that means being on the chandelier.
Oh my gosh, fabulous.
Whatever.
Well, so will you give me first a perception check,
Mhm.
and then I will allow you to make an athletics or acrobatics check.
He wants to be tall. You want to be
perception?
tall.
Ooh. That's an 11.
11. All right.
Higher than
So,
average.
I mean, you are Foggy. Are used to sort of being the lookout, right? But I think this is a very different atmosphere than what you would be used to looking out for. There's just so much to look at in this room and in this building.
Mhm.
So you are easily like distracted by the floating lights and the baubles. But you do see that there are like ladders, sort of rope ladders that are hung down that allow you to climb up to higher stories, as well as there is a pole towards the back of this room that people are able to like sort of climb up and down. And you do catch note, interestingly enough, that one patron, a halfling fella who's like dressed in sort of a farmer's like little vest that he's wearing, he goes over to the pole to the back of this room, and you see he's limping a little bit. and he places a hand on this pole and just sort of squeezes it for a moment, and he begins to just sort of slowly slide up the pole towards the sort of top story, and then is able to step off. So there's this little magic accessibility pole in the back of the tavern.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like a...
It's a pole evader.
kind of situation.
You could certainly swing around it if you want.
Thank you, Pooja.
It's also so you don't have to climb the ladder or walk upstairs or anything.
Oh my god, how lovely.
I mean, you could polivate your way up.
Yes, you. Because I wanted to say is that although people do take this up to the top, as if Foggy makes his way up to that top story, he will see that there are more poles like this, sort of like set around, again, that like sort of 3 back railing area where people are sitting. There are more sort of poles and ropes and baubles and things, and you see folded origami birds that are dancing on the top story of this tavern, like dancing and fluttering around the poles in these swirling motions that are very similar to the outside of the tomb loft, almost like these little miniature animated paper birds that are echoing the design of that very fancy tourist trap that brings people to Nook. So you can sort of climb up on one of those poles if you want, or jump for one of the hanging like silver strings, or you can just find a seat up at the top. What would you like?
I think Foggy will just climb up the pole, not like wait for it to do what it's intended to do, just use it as a pole and just climb up to the 3rd floor. And then, like, find a seat, but not sit in it. Just like sit in, like underneath a stool, and just kind of like hide in there, and then just watch the birds as they're rotating in place.
So cute.
Thank you for the raid, Critical Mrs. Hi, Noir.
Hello. I think this is a lovely moment because the little like flying fish on your shoulder is also just enraptured by the other like little flying things that are going around you. It's a very like familiar sight to you, considering that there have been times in the past when you were sailing where just a school of flying fish would leap over the boat and you would be momentarily surrounded by that delightful display of creatures. So it's actually surprisingly familiar, although I'm sure you're very far from home. Foggy, as you look down with that same perception check, you see the door push open and people enter. Is there anything else you'd like to do, though?
I think Foggy's just gonna pull out some rations and share a couple of bites with their little fish friend.
So cute. Does your fish friend have a name, Foggy?
No.
No?
Foggy specifically does not name the fish.
Okay. I mean, you know what? Respect that decision. A lot of respect for it.
I love...
So cute. I will also say, this particular kind of flying fish is called a pico. It's native to the Parelian Ocean. They've got like these lovely blue colors and these very elegant sort of flappy wings. And I'm sure that we'll get to see some of Andre's art of that in a little bit. But for now, the rest of you, the rest of the party, push your way here into Untold Stories. As you step inside, feel that warmth of caged fires that are set around these couches. You see Arden, again, familiar to you. The carvings that are made by the bartender here. A genasi named Horo. He actually nods his chin and gives you a delighted wave as you step inside here. This is a rock-skinned, shorter fellow, probably about 4'3", I would say. He's got this very short white hair that's kind of spiky almost, like prairie grass, and these rich amber eyes. He is a bartender, but he's also a carver and a merchant. He makes most of the art in here. I think you might have even sat and watched him for a while when you were younger, as he would sit at the bar and carve out of salt or out of stone, or if you could get it, wood, little statues of people that visit his tavern, and then he'll sell them to the visitors as a way to make a little bit of money. You also see, as you step inside here, a very familiar face to you. Although a little bit older, I think, than maybe you last saw them. Soren.
Barden has escaped from the group, and are they facing her?
Soren is sitting away from you, sort of lounging back in one of these couches. You see their long dark hair that's up in box twists, darker black skin. They have a few flowers that are tucked into their hair, and they're wearing an apron as they face away from you, sipping some kind of mulled drink.
Running over as quickly as I can, like leaping over parfaits or whatever there is in her way. Just, Soren, you're back.
It can't be.
Just immediately, like, probably interrupts Soren's words by like around their neck. Just, oh, God, it's been so long.
Soren topples forward as you wrap your arms around them, sort of like turning and springing up and just squeezing you around the waist as hard as they can. As they turn, you can see that the apron they're wearing is absolutely covered in embroidery. And it's been stitched together in part as well. You have sort of this half leather apron, and the other half of it has been sewn together with a beautiful, elegant woven textile, and the embroidery continues over from the leather part and then threaded into the textile work.
You still been working then? They've
Yeah,
been teaching around Albara.
Yes, I actually got to meet a few of your relatives.
Oh, good. How have they been treating you, right?
Absolutely the worst.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, your family was too kind, as always, as they've always been. But who are these people?
Standing awkwardly.
Immediate sort of unlatches, just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Everyone, this is my friend, one of my childhood friends, Soren. They've been out of the country for a bit.
How tall is Soren?
How tall is Soren?
5 foot.
5 foot.
Jesus, this poor person.
But the thing is, by the way that like Barden knocked into them, they are used to this.
Yeah.
Kiara walks up immediately as Bart, like, basically just was waiting for a moment to go say hi because she's very excited to meet Barden's friends. But I mentioned in our offline chat that Kiara had, as soon as Barden ran up, grabbed Matthias's arm with like happy for Barden and like runs up forward and like, well,
brings
the
him
hand's still
along.
attached to your arm. You're coming with, buddy.
Stumble just a little bit. She's got a lot of force behind her. Boy, she sure does. We'll stumble forward and follow. And give a bow. Matthias Markard, nice to meet you. Oh, look, it's a phone.
Barden just looks at Soren, just like, don't. Like,
are you a knight?
I am, yes.
Don't.
Just tell him he's everything you dreamed he'd be, so he can finally accept it. Hi, I'm Kiara.
Hi, Kiara. No, I was going to say you're entirely too tall. Nice to meet you, Kiara.
Nice to meet you too.
And Orc, hello, very nice to meet you, Tazriel. I'm Soren.
Nice to meet a friend of Barden's.
Yes. Wow. It's been a while. New friends, huh?
Yeah. It's nice.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Can't replace you.
Better not. Can I buy you all a drink?
I mean, I'll buy the rounds. We got some money, so.
Oh yeah. Wow. Look at you.
Well, you've got money. I'm not going to make everyone else pay.
I must insist on buying the round. I'm the person who is bringing us all here.
Wait,
Well, if
are we
you're
doing
writing-
this? Wait, no, let me
Wait, wait.
pay.
I won some money, so maybe.
Soren stands up and calls out to Horo. He says, Horo, I think we're gonna start with 3 rounds. Let's get some ciders going. Maybe some,
I got the apple blossom one still.
yes, apple
I
blossom
don't
cider.
have it anywhere else.
I know, it's
That sounds
amazing.
so delicious.
Fan of the
Foggy.
apple blossom.
It's been fairly quiet since you sort of perched up here, but you can now see that there's a commotion going on downstairs. You have an excellent view of 2 taller masculine figures that are bigger than some trees you've seen back on the coast, just like dwarfing you in size if you weren't standing, well 30 feet above
So why
them.
did I get the entirely too tall comment and Tazriel did not?
Because of how you look.
Hmm.
Look like a cop.
There's something you can say you're entirely too tall to like a 6'3" person. You say you're entirely too tall to a 6'9" person.
And you're the asshole.
Obviously, they know.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Actually, Matthias, give me an insight check before I finish this description.
Oh, an insight check, you say? For my boy?
Mhm.
That's hysterical. I believe that's a 10? Nope, it's a 9. I don't have anything to add to that.
Oh, well, Soren's deception was a 5. So you think that Soren knows you or something, or like picks something up somehow.
Okay, all right.
So that's what that comment was about.
Fine enough.
Yes. So Foggy, you're still looking down. You
Mhm.
see 2 very elegant. Actually, because Awaish. Well, I'll get to that in a second. You see a very elegantly dressed person who's wearing lots of golden jewelry, red fabrics. Though some of the fabrics look a little bit worse for the wear. A very strong, buff half orc. Tusks, wearing very elegant leathers and belts that you'd probably appreciate the make of. Interesting group of people. I don't think that any of them are necessarily familiar to you, but all look a bit strange here, except for, of course, the one who is embracing the other patron who had gotten here before you arrived.
I think seeing everyone enter, and especially catching the eye of the person wearing all the gold, they are gonna go down and try and be a little sneaky little guy. And they're gonna just like nudge the Pico and just whisper like act number 13, and then Pico's gonna like fly down and just like land on like a bar stool next to all of them and just look cute.
Do we see Pico?
I think all of you see winging its way down from the ceiling this fish with wings, sort of like perches itself up on this bar stool. These like big glassy eyes, like little fish whiskers that are coming down. It just starts sort of dancing as you are all talking. Poro sort of like starts sliding these ciders across the bar, looks down at this thing, and then sort of up towards the ceiling. Like, did that come from one of my paper creations?
Have we seen, I'm assuming we've seen something like this before, or is it very uncommon? Let's fish.
If you have been to the Pirellian coast or the Uar and Albaran coast, you might have seen one of these. Otherwise, no.
I've been
Should we
there.
roll or?
I feel like, yeah?
Give me nature. Y'all can give me nature.
Oh,
Oh, you're not
Can I
straight. I now have advantage with that. It's
Natural
awesome.
one.
Oh, can we see the art? Oh my gosh, lovely.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
I'm gonna,
Let me-
I have put the art up on the Twitch.
It's only
Yeah.
12.
Yes.
A 12. All right.
I'm gonna say that I've seen this before.
That
Because
was
I
a
want to be far
natural one
traveled.
for Kara. Kara has not, and
Oh,
loves.
little guy.
So,
Loves them.
yes, Taz.
Can I actually make a perception check? Like Taz sees it, like Taz sees this, and he's like, "That feels like it shouldn't be here, and feels like it might be a distraction for something based on what I would do if I was
I
in a
love
situation."
you're inherently suspicious of a miraculous fish.
We have a lot of inherently suspicious
so I can give you a
bitches.
perception check in just a moment, but I do want to just resolve that like nature check. So yes, I do think Matthias, you would have heard of Pico,
Oh,
especially because you have sailed like around a little bit and done some missions. They are less common, but these fish are native to the Parelian Ocean, specifically because there are a lot of both creatures and humanoids and also geographical features in the Parelian Ocean that are adapted to the fact that the gravity gets really weird there. Like there are cities, floating isles in the Parelian Ocean that you've probably heard of. There are cattle that like the fur and the wool that they're made of can actually like basically absorb moisture. So on days where the gravity is a little bit lighter, they'll like be able to sort of float just a little bit off the ground instead of like falling away up into the sky. That kind of thing. And so schools of these flying fish that are eaten by other flying creatures that live above the oceans or between the isles in the oceans that are known as the Skull Atolls.
those aren't very common here, are they? Gonna kind of step forward.
But
to look
I will
that
take
fish
a
over.
perception check from Tazriel.
And
He
Kara's
said
like,
not at the fish, but
even if they're not common, they're certainly very cute. Hi.
That's a 21.
21. I will take
Andre, you're running.
Give me a little guy. Give me a little guy check.
Give me a little guy check. Andre,
What skill is that?
a stealth check for me,
A
please.
stealth
Oh,
check. Okay,
stealth.
I just wanted to
Yes,
double
yes.
check. Oh
You're
hell
nice.
yeah! Stealth is a juicy 22.
Oh! yes. I love that for us, and I do think that beats everyone else's passive perception, since they did say that they were feeling a little bit entranced by this cute
Undoubtedly.
fish. So,
What about Oish? Because Oish's passive is pretty good, right?
not enter the tavern with you?
Rude.
No. So as you guys like stepped into the town, Awaish had noted the tomb loft. Had spent like most of the evening and the day just talking to Darren, working on some spellbook stuff with the arcane grimoire. But as soon as they saw the tomb loft, they made a passing comment about a previous appointment and had made their way towards the entrance.
Hmm.
So they are not here.
Tracks.
Although I'm sure they would probably pick that up. But as you lean down towards the little Pico fish, Matthias, it spits out a little water at you.
Oh.
I think it was saying hi.
Can think of better ways to say hello.
I mean, it could kiss you. Would that be better?
No.
Yeah. So
I'll
How
keep my
very
distance
cute.
from the spitting fish.
Foggy, what are you doing with that stealth check?
I would like to make a second check
Yes.
for sleight of hand. Try and rob him.
Who are you going for?
I'm
you
gonna go
rob it?
specifically for Kiara.
Okay.
Yeah, shiny
Give me
boy.
that sleight of hand.
Woo! Sleight of hand, that's a 21.
A 20? Oh my gosh. I love it here.
Wow.
You know
yes.
what's great though is that Barden carries most of Kiara's money.
Yes.
And the rest of the money is in Taz's possession.
yeah, no. Kiara is only allowed 5 gold
gold.
on her. Because
she's the richest looking out of us.
I think you know what I think it is that so Fog, you're pretty low to the ground, right? And this is a massive group of people, and they're all looking at this bar stool height. So I think maybe you can get like a gold anklet or something.
oh yeah,
From Kiara, just like snap that off very easily. Maybe like a toe ring or something.
oh my god,
Her hands are very nimble.
That is terrifying. Imagine someone touching your toe and you don't know that they're touching your toe.
This is a horror game after all.
For folks who missed the earlier conversation between Kiara and Barden about how many times Kiara gets robbed, what she had said was just because I look good doesn't mean you can come take my stuff.
Oh my god. Well, unfortunately,
I know.
So you do snag those pieces of jewelry, and you're sort of like under the skirts now. I would say, not like under, like under her.
Yo,
But,
someone
like,
finds
there's
you down there, you're gonna get fucking socked, boy. You're gonna get hunted.
I'm gonna get curb stomped fully.
But you're able to like sort of pull those pieces off, and now you are like kind of tucked behind a couch a little bit here. You do see, since you're a little bit closer to this group and this party now, besides Kiara's jewelry, it looks like, pardon, where do you wear your sword?
On my back.
On your back. You see a beautiful, beautiful sword. One of the nicest that you've ever seen. Just like the handle that's emerging from where it's been sheathed is just like elegantly carved these wolf heads and this like leather wrap, and you can see just peeking out just a hint of beautiful polished silver.
Not if you value your life, dude.
I think saying that.
Do it.
Foggy is like, oh, look at those sails, and then we'll against their better judgment try and take the sword.
Oh my god. Okay. So we have that stealth check. I want another sleight of hand check. Because this time you have to like climb up Barden's back a little bit, pull the sword out.
Oh my god.
Are you taking the sword? Are you cutting the belt? Are you
Ooh,
like?
you cut the belt. Well, they might notice if the belts fall off.
The weight.
Yeah, the weight would be.
Yeah.
But it's also the weight of a sword.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll
Well,
say this.
this won't work,
If
but
you
I'm
use
doing
sleight of
this.
hand, you do have disadvantage on it.
Yeah.
Because
Do you want
You're
to
a
say the
little
stealth
guy.
check first?
your stealth check stands, and this is, I'll say again, like, it's not that Taz isn't looking around and just doesn't see Foggy. It's more that you're kind of waiting for a specific moment where anyone who would be looking around like looks in another corner. You're quick, you're small, and you're fast, so your stealth check isn't just you're not being seen, but it's also your timing. You're
Right.
waiting for the right moment when things are being questioned. I know, VJ. So yes, give me the sleight of hand with disadvantage.
Please.
Oh, well, I got the same number, so 15.
15. Okay.
That's my
That
passive.
is Barden's passive. So it's like you don't get seen, you get felt. Barden, there's sort of just like a weight shift. You're leaning down, and of course, you have your belts buckled, but you feel just kind of like a shift in the belt a little bit, and then you become aware of just like a light force on your back.
I think there is a moment, and Barden sort of thinks, and then goes, bah, grabs.
Just fully,
like whatever scruff that she can get, scruff.
yeah,
Like a kitten
And
trying to
then-
grab a kitten.
just like very guttural, like monkey screech, just like.
All right there. What are you trying to do? huh?
Everybody turns to look.
Everyone turns, and Taz, your vision like snaps.
This is your fish, isn't
It's
it?
another little guy.
What you? What's going on? Barden?
I think this person was trying to relieve me of my sword. Weren't you?
Eyes back to Foggy.
I really like the seals on it.
Little guy.
I know it's very pretty, but it's not yours.
I wasn't trying to take it or nothing. It was just
For some reason, I kind of doubt that. But I will put you down if you promise not to take anything else.
Did you already take anything else?
Did you?
no.
Insight check.
please.
Everyone, give
I
me
want
that.
to roll. I want to roll
You can all
insight.
roll it.
That's a 6 for Kiara.
Kara's like, this is the most precious guy I've ever seen.
What is it? You?
20.
Fuck yes, because that's a 5 for Taz.
I did get
Oh
a
my
natural
God.
20, so for once, my non-insightful man knows that someone's lying.
I rolled a 15 minus 2 is 13.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Kiara,
Maybe
this
just
person could do no wrong, but
just stay where you are and keep your hands to yourself and show us what else you've taken.
I'm going to put you on the bar stool now. Be polite. Sits him down. Sorry if my grip was too tight.
Okay. Well, we'll like reach behind their tail and like from the base, like going all the way out of the tail, we'll hold out a ring.
Is it Kiara's ring?
Kiara, is that
Mhm.
yours?
How did you get that off my foot?
And then we'll reach underneath the bandana and pull out the ankle bracelet.
It's like having our little borrower.
Wow, you're a very talented little guy. This is also mine, also off my foot.
Why were you
I-
touching her foot?
Maybe I need more nerves in my feet. I do not feel that.
I love it here.
And if you
but-
weren't intending on taking it, what were you going to do with it? Okay.
I mean, you're very cute here. And I think Kiara's gonna tie the anklet back around Foggy's neck. You can keep it. It looks cute on you. It's I can describe it. It's a little gold necklace and a gold anklet, but it definitely has several little balls hanging off of it. But each of the little ball, if you look at it, has like a little cross shape, and another metal ball inside. So it like jingle jangles.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just like nerf the thief by accident?
Totally, you just nerfed me.
Thank you, Sir Foggy.
You just
Martin
did.
is thinking that and says that to Taz, and just like
Necklace.
now we can hear him at least.
Well, I think is the thing. I'm sure Foggy has stolen jangly things before. You've got that bandana that you can like tuck it around and muffle. So
I look
You
at
know what you're
Soren. Do you know this person?
don't look at me, Mr. Knight.
No. Stop it.
You can just call me Matthias. It's fine.
All right, Matthias. No, I don't think I've ever seen this fellow before. Horo, do you? And then the bartender says, "No, I've not seen this little guy before."
Hey, little fella, now that you have, now that we match with our jewelry, perhaps you can tell me your name?
Name's Foggy.
Hi, Foggy.
Okay.
I'm Kiara. We're best friends now. Please don't steal from me again. It's
Okay.
not worth anything, I promise. It's just all flash, no substance. Kind of like me.
What if
Isn't that
Completely
this
untrue.
is from the coast? Is that where you're from?
I sail a bit.
A sailor.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
then
if it's
Bobby
because
kinda
you stole
smacks
from
just
us,
like,
but suddenly
"My dog."
nothing that you're saying sounds true.
I mean, maybe they might sail, but
You have something against sailors, Matthias, says Soren.
No, definitely not. I just
Hmm.
don't trust what this one is saying. Maybe
they're so
that's
handsome.
just.
Uh,
I'm sorry, what?
They've got a little fish. Very trustworthy.
The fish stays as a distraction to steal.
The fish has inherent value.
It doesn't make you trustworthy. Also, such an obvious distraction. You are still very quick and I didn't see you, but maybe something more subtle next time.
Yeah, maybe don't go for the joined sword. Maybe.
Are you guys giving the thieving advice?
I mean, it's more like it's 3 times his size, Soren. You know, there's expectations. You know, it's like actually being realistic about it, really, isn't it?
I can barely pick that up. How would you?
I'm gonna slide onto a bar stool and drink my cider.
Well, just because I'm little don't mean I'm weak. I can pull my weight.
Oh.
How
I'm
much
not
do you
quite
weigh?
that little, but I'm very weak.
How much do I weigh? I don't know. I haven't really been weighed before. I'm not a fish.
Barden sort of like approximates and just goes, like, 8 pounds?
From 8? No.
For a
More than-
2.5 foot tall person? No.
30? 30?
I would
Person needs
say
some nutrition.
gnomes are
I don't know math.
ultimately, I would say, I mean, Foggy is small, especially a title gnome. Probably in the ballpark of around 60 or 70 pounds.
Whoa, that's a hefty
Okay.
boy.
Well, no, but I mean, if you think about, like, I'm 5'6" and I'm like 120. So actually, maybe like 50 pounds or so.
See,
That's a
I was going
dense
straight for
little
how
guy.
much my nieflings weigh.
Oh, how much do your knee flings weigh?
I was gonna say is like if
Quickly,
there's-
don't make me do math. Like, I do enough math. You tell me how much you weigh.
if Foggy is skinny, my guess is like 35, 40.
Barden says
Wow.
whatever is
I'm an
appropriate.
English major.
I don't know.
So
Just a little guy.
Hey,
Schrodinger's
I'm
weight.
very weak. We could arm wrestle, and you could prove to everybody that you are stronger. I believe in you.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good test. You're Kiara. Maybe it's against Barden.
That's not fair. Barden's got like 4 feet on him.
You can see that everyone else in this bar, they're like leaning over the railings at this. There aren't that many people. There is like an elf that's like leaning over and watching you guys. The bartender has stepped back away after serving you guys up a round of ciders and is just starting to carve a tiny little monkey out of a piece of salt crystal. But yes, if you guys want to both give me athletics checks.
You know what? I've got an idea. What's your name again?
Foggy.
Foggy. Foggy. All right. How about we do a little arm wrestle, and if I win, you tell us a story. Because you're a sailor, right? Must be something interesting. You
Okay.
do not get the sword if you win. I'm going to say that now.
I don't get the sword.
You do not.
Can I help Foggy
I'll
just
buy
to
you a
make it a
drink.
little more
I'll buy
equal?
you a drink. How about that?
Oh, Kiara
Take a
and
drink.
Foggy versus
Well,
Barden.
Kiara will look to Barden and say and have asked that, like, can I help him just to make it a little more equal? The height difference, Barden.
There's a moment of just like,
No.
for like a split second, and then she's like, okay, I get the point.
Okay.
He's-
Kiara, if once they sit down and get, well, I guess it depends. Is Foggy taking this?
How are they doing this? To the side.
I'll also
Against the
offer
bar?
5 gold if Foggy wins.
Yes.
Oh,
Money.
In my between my legs, pull out and like in between my
Ooh.
fingers.
Ooh. So Soren then says, all right, it sounds like we have a match going on. Clears some of the ciders off of the bar, and then like reaches under and pulls out a section of it and slides it forward. And you can see that there's these little tables, like sort of table pieces that come out from the bar. There's like a chest, little like sort of chest set one that comes out that they slide back in, and then they pull out another one, and you see it's just like a burnished, polished wood that's like scratched up and scarred. Looks like people have been playing bar games on this little table piece for years and years and years. Slides some bar stools up next to it, and then
Your
like
lively town.
lowers it a little bit so Foggy can reach. So you guys can get your arm sort of up on it.
I really love the idea. There's definitely a very badly scratched garden in there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
With some like notches next to it.
All right, so let's make this interesting. 3 rounds. You have to win 2,
Okay.
and because Kiara and Foggy are working together, Foggy, you do get advantage.
Oh, I was gonna cast something.
You're gonna. Oh, you can also cast something if you'd like. You're gonna. Yes, Kiara, take it away.
Well, you know, Foggy's cute, and like that's pretty much all you need to get Kiara on your side. Kiara will stand behind Foggy and just be like, "May I help you?"
With what? You gonna put your arm up next to mine?
No, I'm just going to have my arm on your shoulders, cheering you on. But I think if I do this correctly, you'll be maybe a little bit stronger. Wait, maybe not stronger. It will just help you perform at your peak.
Sure.
Kiara is going to close her eyes, put her hands on Foggy's shoulders, and you feel a warmth emanating from her hand, and like it's just like two spheres of warmth kind of go from your shoulders across your chest and kind of overlap as I don't play a smart character. She's casting enhance ability on you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hell
my
yeah.
favorite spell.
I love that spell, and I imagine you're choosing strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bears and deers. What is it? It's bull strength.
Bull strength.
Advantage on your strength checks.
You always have to play a bull, huh, Andre?
Yeah, that's.
All right. Oh, so
And
here's
it's
the
a-
thing, is that it will just straight up give you advantage.
And it's a concentration, so as long as I maintain it, you'll get it for every round.
Interesting
Hell
to
yeah.
know. Foggy, your carrying capacity doubles.
Now's the time.
Kiara.
Get the sword.
Double.
I'm thinking about it.
All right. So
I'm
those are gonna be
maintaining it,
3
buddy.
rounds. You are concentrating. So Foggy, you can make athletics check with advantage. Of course, Barden, if you want to rage, you can also get advantage on your athletics checks. But you have to re-rage every round because you will be hitting someone or taking damage. So you can.
I don't. Sorry, Vic is doing like massaging things behind.
You got that.
We got Taz behind, looming over, 6'9" versus like 2.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, Barn rages
Okay.
and stares at Foggy, and the eye flashes like bright moon silver, the one that's in the vitiligo side, just like bring it.
2 athletics check with advantage.
I will lean into Barden's ear. Let me know if you want me to smack you to keep your rage up.
You know that's how that works. Is that what I will allow you to do that one time? You can.
No, wait. If I attack, so I could just flick him.
Why?
Or hit
I
me.
would argue that,
will
that
die.
if you were
No,
making a
Foggy,
strength
it's
check,
Taz.
you could totally be
Like
attacking.
Taz.
That totally
Like
works.
I listen. I'm gonna sit here and say yes. You're definitely attacking a character, and then Chan's gonna be like, I arm wrestle Tazriel to keep my rage up for a whole minute.
Oh, no, it's that. And then it's just, I'm just gonna flick Taz's like hand or something.
I love the idea.
I would
think
not
it's
attack
funny.
Foggy. He's so small.
I love the idea of Taz like slapping you on the back a little bit as you're doing this, and that helping you concentrate. So I think that's a cute,
Okay.
a cute
One
thing.
game.
Okay,
I
Just
got
enough.
21.
yeah.
I
A
got a
21.
22.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Iconic. Oh
So-
wow.
Yes.
I want to stage you and Barton so you're facing each other here.
Okay. Where? I gotta get out the damn bar.
Get out of the bar so we can see you.
Come here.
Look at this.
Look at me.
We've got something in here. Okay. So cute. All right, so and Soren is like watching in pure delight. They haven't been back to this town in a little bit. They're so excited to see Barden again. Even the bartender's like leaning in. You see people looking down from above as you clasp this tiny little paw in your massive hand. And it's quite close. You sort of like you've rested your elbow up and you have to lean over to make sure you're getting like the good grip, but everyone's watching, you know, not everything's above board. And just as you feel pushing down, it should be so easy. There's a burst of warmth and the hand goes like hot in your own. And Foggy, you're able to somehow push this massive straining muscular arm and slam it down onto the table.
I think Barden just goes, wow, all right, let's do that again. Just genuinely delighted.
Kiara leans down to Foggy. Her hands are still on his shoulders. Good job. You did such a good job. Let's keep this going, huh?
How you doing?
And then, of course, Taz, if you want, you can slap Barden on the back.
You got this.
1 point of damage.
Wait, he's not that strong. No.
You do 1 point of damage.
You know what? I'll take my dagger out
I
and
need
be
the
like,
1
you
point
got
anyway.
this.
No,
No dagger, thank you.
The hilt.
But you do keep raging for another round, so you can both give me another set of athletics checks with advantage from the spell and from raging.
Come on.
This will go. I got 12.
I got a natural 20.
Oh,
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna get our story, but I love it here.
Put some respect on the little guy.
So I think it's this time. It's like Barden, you're watching and you're concentrating because obviously you should be able to overpower this tiny like 3-foot gnome, and then you just see sort of like peek up through their hair, the little fish, and it waves at you, and then Foggy's hand comes slamming down again just as you make eye contact with the fish.
Just staring at this fish going.
Sweet.
Yeah,
3 rounds.
yeah.
Does that mean it's done?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Best 2
You
out of
won,
3.
Foggy.
The gold, please.
Yeah.
Well, that's Taz. That ain't me.
What the fuck?
See.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Taz.
Pass them 5 gold if you want.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, definitely, of course. And I'll just... Impressive. And I'm looking at Kiara as I say that. 35 gold.
I think when Barden's arm like slams down the second time, Matthias is kind of watching disinterestedly over the top of his cup, and then it slams down, and he just a little bit of cider like comes out his nose, and he's just coughing in shock.
Oh my god. Soren's hand then comes slapping down on Barden's shoulder, and she says, "You've learned absolutely nothing, it seems."
Hey. I don't have an excuse, but hey. And she
No. That was amazing. You, little man, I am buying you a drink as well. Or actually, I guess the knight can buy me a drink, and then I'll give you mine.
Are you talking to Maddie or me?
Soren is
kinda wink
talking
at
to
her?
Foggy.
Or them?
Oh. Wow, many knights. Are you a knight as
Are
well?
you a knight too?
Yeah, technically.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
I don't think you did.
Yes, we keep esteemed company in this group.
Apparently so.
Of
So-
what? File that away for
Ask
later.
The rest of the drinks are served out to you guys now, as Foggy, as you are pouring. You know, like you see the gold in your hand, bright, shiny, not fake. It's real.
Absolutely, just doing a little like Prince John from Robin Hood, just pouring over the gold.
Yes. But you're able to like, sort of like sit up on these bar stools here and spend a few more pleasant moments, Soren starts telling you a little bit about their time in Uranobara. They say that they are actually just getting back for a visit. They are probably heading back to the coast soon, but they wanted to reconnect with their family a little bit and show them some of the work that they've been doing that they're really proud of, and that they actually have an ongoing steady apprenticeship with a bard back on the coast, Lauren coast.
Yeah, Barden is sat as close as they can to Soren, just kind of listening, but leaning her cheek against Soren's their shoulder, and just like it's never changed. Just like, that's amazing, I'm so proud. Oh, look, I do actually have, and turns the collar inside out, and I still have it, see? I managed to actually get it sewn. I managed to sort of put it back onto this one.
That's lovely. Let me sort of like folds the collar up and takes a close look. I mean, this is pretty old. It's not my best work. I could make you something a little nicer now.
Like a little bit of a blush. I mean, we aren't staying that long.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, you travel in the companies of knights and princesses, it looks like, so.
I mean, yeah.
Like something out of one of your stories.
It's quite nice to have them come true, isn't it? But
Sometimes.
and she leans in. You'll always be my favorite princess.
Soren blushes. And then shoves you away. You're not allowed to call me that anymore.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
I lean over to like Kiara and whisper. Does it feel like we're, and I just count 1, 2, 3, like third wheeling? Like mostly a little jokey, but you
A little bit.
You getting that vibe?
I am getting that vibe, especially because I cannot imagine any other reason why I would not be Barden's favorite princess.
Rip.
Damn.
You're mine.
Oh my god.
Maybe we should excuse ourselves and go get some drinks.
This is the
Make
only
sure-
tavern in town, Soren says.
By which Kiara meant like let's leave where they're standing and go join Matthias and like face our bodies in a different direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we just and then while they're gonna walk away, I think Kiara will reach down to Foggy and be like, "You're coming, right?
Where are we going?
Just to the bar. Now that
Yeah.
the match is over, we don't need to be here. Let's go."
Yeah. I gotta get my prize.
And Soren will sort of like shoot Matthias a look.
What?
Buy them a drink.
Okay. Got it. And yeah, sure. We'll go over to the bar. Foggy, I believe that I owe you for this one. How much is the drink? How much is one? Just get a mug.
What is your drink of choice, Foggy?
I should ask that first.
Probably some rum.
Okay, because I was gonna say there's actually a house special here.
Oh.
It's called Nook, Line, and Thinker.
Oh, so good. So
Oh
good.
god.
What is it?
It's this little like foamy shot, and they take a piece of like sugar paper and they like put it over the top of the drink, and then it melts in and it starts foaming up in a blue color.
Mm.
And it's like a sweet Aperol kind of thing. You can also get a rum punch, or dark and stormy, of course.
Yeah, maybe a dark and stormy. I was either thinking that or just some ale.
Meh.
Just some
So that'll cost you. Just an ale is going to be like a copper, probably,
Right.
because farmers come in and grab some ale. So.
But you wanted a rum, right?
Yep.
We have that. So for a rum or a dark and stormy.
For a rum, that'll be 3 copper.
3 copper. Perfect.
I will. Kiara will definitely order a line and given that Kiara forgets that they have money at this point, at this point, I'm pretty sure she just expects that people who carry her money will pay for things.
Taz will want to uncover Kiara.
Okay. For the amount of rounds that Soren has ordered, and like collectively, I'll say that you guys can just put down 2 gold and you'll be covered for. Again, it's not super expensive. Okay, you got that?
Taz got it. Perfect.
All right. So as you're sipping on your drinks, I will say that I think it's Foggy specifically who would note this. The elf that is like looking over is someone that you've seen a few times. Has kind of like not had their eye on you, but has like bumped into you and is actually familiar to you. I think maybe this elf might be one of the reasons that you're even here in Nook, because they're a wealthy noble from the coast, and you might have like followed them occasionally. This is Elvi Okterdother. They are from Port Sasio, which is a port that's fairly close to where you're from. Port Sasio is well known for being near the Wax Lagoons. This is on the Parelian coast, but it's sort of closer up towards the edge of Skyholm. I'll say, I don't necessarily need to pull it over into the map, but basically the Parelian coast sort of like comes up along the Parelian Ocean, and then it meets up with Skyholm along the water. So Port Sasio is closer to where it meets up with Skyholm along the water. And Okterdother is a pale skin, sort of almost like a bluish color, a sea elf who has been traveling towards Nook, looking to make an audience with Sir Silverhawk, and has just like kept bumping into you. I'm not sure. It's kind of up to you if you're trying to steal something from them, or if you have had previous encounters with a noble. But yeah.
So people already like saw Foggy like front and center, right?
Yes. In this tavern, now
everyone's on high alert now, right?
I would say so. They might not have overheard the conversation about stealing, but they saw the arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how fancy do they look?
Okterdother is very fancy. They've got this like sort of like blue scarf that's coming down and wrapped around their neck. It has like this little like sort of turquoise beads that are hanging off of it. They've also got jewelry that is very similar to what you guys know a Waish wears, which are these like, you know, heavier bangles, like layers and layers of jewelry that are culturally appropriate to people who are from the Parelian Ocean due to the gravity. Wearing a lot of jewelry will help like weigh you down on days where the gravity is messed up a little bit. And just like very, very high cheekbones, wearing it sort of like a dark blue eyeliner as well.
So Foggy.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you from?
I'm from the Parelian coast. Just from a little island.
And your friend? Nods to
Oh.
the fish.
Yes. It's my friend.
What's their name?
They don't
Where
have
are they
names.
from?
They are from where I am from. They are native.
They don't have names as a rule?
It feels disingenuous.
To the fish?
Yeah.
Can you talk to it?
I sure can.
Does it talk back?
Well, I gotta cast a little spell, but yeah.
Oh, you're a mage.
Yep.
Can I see, please?
Hold on. I think Foggy is going to just take a minute to recenter themselves, and then you'll see like a little fritz of electricity run through their hair real quick as they cast Speak with Animals.
Fish. Little mouth flaps open a bit. And it doesn't have eyebrows, but the sort of whisker bits fold up.
You doing good?
Foggy.
Yep.
What did that sound like?
It sounded like gurgle. It was a gurgle.
Say hi for me, please.
Okay.
Can you ask him, her, them, how they stay alive without water?
Oh, I can answer that.
Oh,
They keep they're a kind of a weird fish that they got a little. You know how seals got blubber?
uh-huh.
They've got a little pouch of skin all over their body, and it just inflates with water. And they just have to refuel every now and again.
Oh, should we get your friend a glass of water to refill?
Does it need water?
I think they need salt water. I think.
Oh.
There's plenty of that, says the bartender.
And it's free, so not to worry.
That is the
bartender
neatest little trick.
Fill up from a bucket a little glass of salt water and pass it over. And the fish, which it doesn't speak very well, I would say, but will just sort of repeat a word after you, Foggy, yeah, water, or hello. Will sort of flap up and then dive into the little glass, and then sort of kind of Disney style, fin head.
I'm picturing Ponyo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. How interesting.
Kiara cries a little because of the cute. This is the best thing to happen to me.
How long have you been traveling with your fish?
Oh, ever since I remember. Since I was just a wee lad.
Are you
Not still a wee lad?
I'm 22.
Wow.
That's a very respectable age.
That seems old for a fish. I'm impressed.
Oh no, it's not the same fish. There's lots of fish. It's just this one for right now. They switch out. They can come and go as they please.
I love that you are talking with animals right now, and you're just giving this fish a sense of its own mortality.
Whatever. Animals know what's up.
Existential crisis.
That's very interesting. Are you in town for anything in particular?
ideas?
I was
We can.
scouting out some possibilities. Just trying to go places. Looking for shit. Last job ended here, and I've just been here since for a week. Did y'all see that bird yesterday?
Oh.
The rock.
No.
There was a big bird that flew overhead.
Kiara! I didn't see it, I was sleeping.
I bet it was really nice.
We definitely saw it.
Yeah, it gave the town a bit of a scare. That would be the bartender. It gave the town a bit of a scare.
So, It did to us as well.
Ah.
Not so common to see around these parts.
Oh,
But it's gone
look at
now.
that.
So,
You begin to hear just sort of like this horn noise that kind of like startles some people as the bartender says, "Oh, look at that!" And then pushing into the entrance, it is just hit around like probably noon, like 11 or noon. Not 11. It's just hit 11 at this point. You guys are enjoying your boozy brunch, and the bartender sort of like claps his hands, and you see pushing their way into the Untold Stories, the tavern here, is an elephant, a loxodon, which are very, very unusual in this world. They're not very common. They are usually, I'll say this, they're often travelers, and they travel from further and further away. They specifically come from the Worm Sea, which is the sea that is by the Bajau, so it's sort of like cross the desert, past a city known as Spire. There are a few small outlying islands where some Loxodon live, and they will often travel in solitary packs, kind of sharing and telling stories before they return back on these pilgrimage journeys. So it is very unusual to see one. The sort of like low trumpet noise as a very, very old and pierced Loxodon makes their way into this tavern. You can see large ears that are low and stretched and hanging down with jewelry, a long trunk that has like rings that are sort of like gold rings that are set around it, where the skin has folded, almost like they've been wearing these for a long, long time. Deep jowls, heavy set brows, and almost like a cloak made of netting that is tied around him, so you can see a bare chest that is also like folded and wrinkled with age. These long, sweeping, sort of like loose skirt pants of a dark blue color, small tail peeking out the back, and wrapped around the neck of this Loxodon is a horn. Similarly to how the gold rings on his trunk look like they've been, they started out smaller and then he grew around them. This horn is wrapped around the neck of this creature, coming down around his waist with the cloak, the net cloak that's like folded over it, almost like this was a piece that was put on when he was much younger, and his body has grown and filled out around it, with the mouthpiece coming down underneath the trunk.
How tall?
6'7".
eye to eye.
Your spot is fine. Your spot is fine.
I just like meeting tall people.
Loxodon steps his way inside very slowly, and the bartender says, "I'm so excited I was able to book him. He isn't staying for very long, but..." And steps inside, makes his way towards the center of the room. You see people sort of start turning their gazes away from this group, your group that was making a bit more noise, to this creature. "Hello. I am Agnes Far Travel. Come to bring sounds and words." He sits down on a couch, begins to play a low, dark tune that comes first, almost like a sad hum from this trunk, and then as he slides the mouthpiece sort of like up to the trunk, a booming, low bass noise that fills the tavern and shakes the figurines on the walls and sends the baubles clattering against each other and the paper birds swirling down around him. There's no words to this song, just a low beat speaks to distant lands, stormy waters, thunder rolling in from far, far away, pounding steps in a low rhythmic beat, and a warmth that suffuses the entirety.
And who is this? Just leaning towards the bartender who was like exclaiming, like, I'm so glad I was able to book him.
He's a bard. Heard that he was coming to town to see the tomb loft. Stopped in by the bar yesterday, and said he would grace us with a performance today. So
Lucky us. Finally gonna take an opportunity to kind of just cast a glance around the people in this place as a performance is going on.
Check?
I'd love to. Oh,
I think
Shit.
Foggy just looks over to like whoever's sitting next to them, like Barden or
No,
Kiara.
I think it's Kiara.
Yeah, and it's just like it's a bit dour, isn't it?
It's okay. We can enliven it after.
I got a total of 4 because I rolled a natural 1.
Wow.
Oh, well, in this case, you know, you have time to look around. But it's more that some of the customers like sort of come down from where they were looking and like come and sit and listen to this Loxodon creature. So since you're by the bar, a bunch of them are now facing away from you. So you do see, you know, there's an elf. There's some farmers in here, but you're not getting a closer look at people enough to pick up like, you know, where they might be from or if you recognize any faces.
I see. And do any of the party members look like they'd rather be somewhere else?
Is that what you're looking for? That could be insight.
No, that's just secondarily after looking. I'll cast a glance at everyone else and see how everyone's doing, how everybody's feeling, what do they want to do.
Taz is kind of indifferent, but is really like eyeballing Foggy and has been since when I mentioned nefarious things, thieving practices.
Got it. What's Kiara look like?
I think Kiara's the curious. They haven't obviously seen anything like this before, and Kiara's out here collecting experiences.
What's Foggy doing?
Foggy's not vibing with this music. It's not their speed.
Are they fidgeting, or are they just kind of like totally zoned out?
They're just like playing with the Pico at the moment, just like kind of just it's more background noise than anything at this point.
And what's Barden doing with Soren? What are they doing?
What are they doing?
Has Soren seen anything like this before? Like, from my memory? Just like, you've been traveling. Have you seen a Loxodon before like this? I don't think
No.
I have.
Never heard of them. I think there are a few that maybe are from Uara, sort of like far west, I would say. But no, I haven't ever talked to one. Although the music is a bit somber for the mood.
I mean, they'll probably move on to someone else, won't they?
You'd think so. It almost sounds like something should be spoken or said over top of it.
Do you think they want people to join in?
I don't know. We could ask.
Barton just like nudges their shoulder. Dare ya?
Oh, come on. I'm finishing my drink.
Oh, fine. Chicken. And
Soren stands up as you say that.
what, you gonna go do it, or are you mad?
All right. They grab for your hand and pull you up. You have to come with me.
Just pretends like, oh, fine, and up.
And they tug you over to the Loxodon, just sort of waiting for the crowd, the smaller crowd, only like 6 or 7 people around, waiting for a moment where he pulls the mouthpiece away to take a breath. Okay, do you take requests? I could take a request. Soren looks to you, Barden. But
Hello.
hello.
Nice to meet you. Looks to Foggy. Know anything from the coast?
I
mean, just glances at Foggy, looks
Since
back
you're
to
back to
Loxodon.
Foggy at the bar.
Yeah. I'm just like, do you
the
know anything from the Perillian coast?
From the Pirellian coast. Let's see. That's a bit more. Reaches down into the pocket of these, sort of loose, billowing skirt-like pants, pulls out a few bells, and just hangs them from the jewelry on his stretched ears. Okay. Pulls out a few, you see this massive tube around his neck. Slides out a few metal loops, sort of extending the sound a bit. And then a longer, lighter sound begins to play. Starts tapping this massive foot on the ground and shaking his head occasionally, causing the bells to jingle. And you see a few more smiles around the room as more of a dancing beat begins to pick up. This is something that speaks more to a sea shanty, I would say, than the music that's more reminiscent of the desert that he was playing before.
I'll grab Soren. Dragging to an empty space. Like, come on. You haven't danced in ages.
All right, fine. Let's dance.
Barden is not good at dancing. I like that as a concept. Like, they are just taking Soren around circles on the floor.
Strength and still not be a dancer, a dexterous dancer.
Do you want me to roll?
Yeah. Give me a performance.
Oh, boy. I'm on all of the wrong things. Sorry, I accidentally got rid of my D&D sheet.
I believe your charisma's just a 0, right? So if you want to just give me performance and...
Oh no, it's +2.
+2, oh, well.
Oh, that's a nice gun anyway!
I like it.
That's so much better, I love that.
So, I like the idea that Barden tumbles over a couch with Soren. That you guys just sort of knock something over. As the crowd is sort of standing up a little bit, and some of them are getting some more drinks as this music begins to play. You two, you're sort of daring each other back and forth, right? That's how you work. Soren starts spinning a little bit faster, and then you spin them a little bit faster, and it becomes that childhood game where you're trying to hold on to each other while you're spinning as fast as you can. And Barden, because you are much bigger, sort of this counterweight, when they let go a little bit, you are sent flying backwards over a couch, and they tumble after you.
Ooh.
Barden's just laughing. Just so happy. And just sort of picking the flowers that are really sort of buggered up in Soren's hair, just okay, I think I messed up your hair a bit.
Oh, yes, I do think so. Loxodon pauses for a moment. Is no one going to accompany me?
I think Foggy will just like take the first tentative steps of like trying to sing this little shanty. Does not know the words, but will definitely try.
Make up some lyrics, bud.
Make it up.
I was out at the sea when the dock flipped over. Well, that's not bad. It's a 10.
And okay, so you don't know the words to this song, but you've heard it sung before, so you can sing nonsense words to the right rhythm.
Amazing.
But it starts to get picked up a little bit. You know, it's not the best, but now that the Loxodon has said, like, I'm waiting for people to accompany me, people actually know that that's okay. So it's the elf on the above railing. It's what's that funky fresh name that I had? Elvi Octodother. Elvi Octodother begins to sing as well, a shanty that they do actually know the words to. And it tells just a little bit of the floating islands. A story about old creatures coasting through winds, low creatures coasting through seas, deep creatures coasting through dark. And it's that rhythm that gets repeated and repeated and repeated.
So as the shanty picks up, Kiara has finished her Nook line and sinker, jumps to their feet.
I see people starting to jump to their feet to start dancing, and I excuse myself to go to the bathroom.
No. I stood up before
you,
you
I
did
said
anything.
it. No, I'm not.
You can't.
Wait. What we do is have a stealth check versus.
No. Initiative.
Something.
It's under.
Yeah,
Initiative.
Both of you
I see
initiative.
Kiara's foot start tapping, and I'm just like, no.
PvP, bitches.
Shit.
Well, that's shit.
I
What'd
got
you get?
I got a 10.
I got an 8.
Nice.
Hey, you get out there.
Matthias, you were anticipating it.
Kill joy. I was gonna do something so great, and now you'll never know.
You'll get another
Make your way
chance.
up to standing and make your way into a bathroom that is currently empty because everyone's listening to the music.
You've never seen Matthias move so fast outside of combat.
Yeah. So, like I said, Kiara jumped to their feet, turned around, probably saw Matthias skedaddle out of the corner of their eye, make eye contact with Taz, and say, "Neither you nor I were raised to sit down while everybody else has fun."
Very true. Stand up.
And we're gonna go and do a dance.
I know I keep giving it out, but will you take inspiration for me, Pooja? I really like that line.
Oh, yay! Thank you.
I love the reference of you guys both being from the same place, especially considering that you just saw the map. That's really nice. Yes.
Pooja,
so
I promise that one day you'll get Matthias to dance. It's just not today.
It's okay. Oh, no.
I think
You give Kiara a challenge. It's gonna happen.
I think once the shanty like actually picks up and starts having a little bit more rhythm and oomph, Foggy and the Pico are just gonna like dance with each other.
You're swinging it around.
Mhm.
How long? Speak with Animals is like an hour or something, right?
I think it's only 10 minutes actually.
10 minutes? Oh, well, I'll say this much. Your fish does start singing a little bit, blubbing. Yeah. It's terrible and it sounds weird because it's just a
It's
fish
very off key.
thing, and like bubbles come out occasionally, but
They don't have great acoustics underwater.
no. But it's cute. A little bit of water drips down onto the floor from the fish's mouth as it's singing. Oh, I love it here. But there is merriment and joy as you push into the afternoon. Dancing, warmth, after a while, music slows, and Lochthodon settles back down a little bit and takes the bells off, and switches over from that lighter music to just sort of a softer hum. This isn't as dark or as somber. It's not even really a song. It's just sort of like a warm, comfortable background noise occasionally as people go back to their drinks. I would call this background music like you might hear at like a coffee talk, or what is it, a poetry slam, where they like sort of play music.
Oh God.
They play music in between, people who are about to go up and like do some talking, or you might like hear the music sort of swell up a little bit while someone is telling a story. Something quieter. Did you want to do something, Tazriel?
I was gonna ask, is it the type of dancing where we could have like swapped partners at some point during it?
Oh. Sure.
Because I was gonna try and grab Soren and let Kiara dance with Barden.
Oh, if Barden will allow it.
Absolutely.
And it's just like a little bow, kind of like a playful like nightly bow. May I have this dance? The thing to Soren.
Sir Knight, I'll allow it.
And honestly, I'm just asking a lot of questions about Barden's childhood, like not in like Taz is being nosy, but in like you go to your friend's place and you get all their embarrassing stories, kind of way.
Fabulous. Yeah. So give me a persuasion check.
Oh fuck yeah. Oh okay. 17.
17. All right. First thing you pick up, just generally talking to Soren a little bit more, is they have a similar excitement to what you see in Barden sometimes. Like there's a similar energy there, very, very playful. Begins to talk just a little bit, start opening up about growing up in Nook, saying that, grew up together, has spent a long time in this town. They do say, I do think it's good that Barden's spending some time around knights. They've always wanted to be one. For a long time, since we were very young. Used to play pretend.
I cry. And like at that, Taz's face kind of falls, and like in his head, he's thinking that whatever Barden told him might be why Barden isn't a knight right now, and it's like making him kind of sad. But says, yes, maybe some things will rub off and we'll get Barden that knighthood.
Well, I sure hope so. They deserve it. She deserves it. One of the strongest people I've ever met.
Yes, and stronger now. And I tell the story of the heist and how we like shared stuff.
Oh my gosh. I've never heard anything like that. I've passed through Aethri, but I'm not really a city person myself, so if that's the kind of adventure y'all are going to get up to, just make sure that just treat her right. All right, keep her safe, because a bit of borrowed strength is no problem, but there's different kinds of strength that can be required.
Like as soon as Soren says keep her safe, like Taz gets a little flustered and starts like he's about to trip over his words.
Careful there, Mr. Knight.
We'll keep each other safe.
That sounds good. That's what best friends do. And if I'm not there, it's nice to know that there are other people looking out.
Can I roll to see if I'm dancing any better with Kiara? Or have I still got that nat one?
Oh, I think you're still being clumsy, but Kiara's quite a good dancer, right?
Yeah.
She just like, you know what? I'll just turn in a circle and you do fancy things around me and then I can just lift you. Okay, could be fun. Yeah, like.
And Kiara does like the fancy kicks and stuff.
Yes.
love
I am conveniently
yeah.
located where I can have my drink and also be in the corner and not be seen.
I
I'm
think I
hiding in
will
the
say that
shadows.
since you are taking a longer time to look now, even though you did fail a perception check, there are a few things that you just kind of start noticing about this tavern and this atmosphere and this bar that I'll just describe a little bit more to you. I think that you said you've passed through Nook before.
Yeah.
And you're an observant person, right? So the general vibe that you get, well, maybe not observant, but you've been trained to get information from your surroundings in more of a survival way.
Yes.
So Nook as a location is very much centered around the tomb loft and its like mystical draw and its energy. The folks here seem very happy, is kind of what you're picking up on. It's a smaller town. There's one tavern, but it's a beautiful tavern where artistry is sewn into just every element of it. Even the folks that you're seeing, farmers that might be coming in and out. The fact that the bartender was so excited to like hire a bard. It seems like there's just an element of the specific culture of this town where it's not really wealth, but it's more resources that you start to kind of get. And this is putting this together from other times that you've been here, is that the Sir, because you're from Skyhome and you know that many different towns will like have the Sirs that are sort of providing a relationship there, where a lot of people will just be working for one of the Sir Ducks of Skyhome, the noble houses. It seems like there are resources to go around here versus knowing what resources might be available to actually harvest from the land. Like this isn't a great location for salt harvesting. You're sort of just kind of on the beaches. There's not like a larger orchard that has been specifically curated, because there are like, mushroom orchards kind of thing that you can curate in Skyhome. There might be some nice things you can get from here, but it really is the fact that the Tomb Loft is such a tourist destination that people come to that is allowing for a certain level of living and artistry that occurs here.
Damn, that's a fancy tower.
Yeah, it's real fancy.
Speaking of, the day is kind of getting along.
Yeah.
And I know that we only have one day, so I might interrupt. Barden and Kiara, kind of like set my shoulders and move into the whirling dervish sort of dancers, and just like gently time it and then place a hand on both their shoulders when I know I'm not going to injure myself or others, and then say, I think we might be running out of daylight here soon, so if we wanted to go and see the Tome Loft, it might be a good time.
Oh.
And look for Taz. And try and...
Yeah. Soren sits
talk
down
to
after
him
a
too.
while, leaving Taz to his own devices.
And I think Foggy would see the tall, dark armored gentleman kind of like pull their folks out, and gather once more by the bar.
I think as they're like pulling out of the tavern, Foggy will catch a glimpse of them, like run with rum bottle still in hand. And just say, wait, hey, hold on. Are y'all leaving? Is it? Are y'all setting sail?
Not yet. Tomorrow. We're just going to the tomb loft.
All right.
Tomb loft. For now.
Tome loft. Tome.
Tome loft.
Like a book.
Not a tomb?
Tome.
That did seem a little morose, the idea of a tomb loft.
It's a big place.
Well,
Sorry. Yes, to go into the tome loft, yes.
right. Do you think perchance I could perhaps catch a ride?
On our
Can
ship?
you keep your hands to yourself?
I will not. I will not take anything from you.
You plural or you singular just to Tazriel?
Unspecified.
I mean, be happy to maybe take you on the boat, but I think Siren would murder me if any knowledge came out of there without his knowledge. That's the only thing.
Well, I'm rather small, so I could just hide. Just
I
He's a
mean
big
more
lad.
that.
Just
I
don't-
mean more that we don't. You wouldn't be able to take anything. That's what I mean.
From the tome loft. From the book
Yeah.
place from
Oh.
there, the tower.
I don't care about books.
I mean, there's a lot more than books, but knowledge comes in all shapes. But
Well, in that case, I will be on my best behavior.
I think
But
Taz
then you
should
were
keep an
asking.
eye.
You were asking if you could come on the ship. Yes?
That's right.
We're headed north to Castle. Is that?
The Loy
On-
Castle. What do I know about
Away
Loy
from the
Castle?
coast.
Ah, yes. Oh, so Lai Castle is actually fairly close to Lyport. The Lykar family basically has like a port that is connected to the big like keep. Lai Castle is the like city town area that the Lykar family curates. So you don't really know as much, I think, geography from Skyholm, but you do know that if you're looking to find a port and they're stopping by Lai Castle, you'd be able to head over to get back to the coast from there pretty easy.
Oh, that's jiffy.
Friend.
Very well. It's fine with me.
If you
Looks to make sure
feel
everyone else
anything.
is cool with it.
Just, Foggy, since we're friends and everything, maybe instead of stealing, you could just ask me if you want something?
Does that work?
Sometimes.
Ask for things?
Yeah?
That's not been my experience, but I will attempt it.
Okay. Yeah. It's just people tend to just assume they can take my stuff, and it's not great. I'm not a big fan of it.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thank
Next
you.
time.
Also,
Tomorrow, I'll just ask whenever I want to take something.
Today would also be good. It's not just
Today and
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yes, at least.
There we go.
We'll talk about it later, depending on if we're going to stretch this out.
That's perfectly acceptable for now.
also just
Okay.
keep this in mind. will be traveling, and if you steal something and get in trouble for it, and you get kicked off the ship, I have no idea where you might get kicked off at.
Well, I've been kicked off. I've been kicked into open waters before. It's
Foggy, you must
Okay.
take better care of yourself. Don't
I
you
didn't
think
think that
that
was a
gets you
matter.
kicked off of ships?
I didn't think that was a matter of me taking better care of myself. But
Better choices, my friend. Better choices.
all right.
Also,
You have-
before they leave, sorry,
Mhm.
Bon is gonna be like, okay, I gotta go to Soren and just give them like a bunch of kisses on their face, like, mama, boy, have a great time. It's gonna go so good. Fingers crossed I get to see you before we go, but
Yeah,
either way.
I sure hope so. No worries. You can always, if you come back by Abara to visit family or something,
Oh yeah.
hopefully
Abara
you'll see some
too.
of my designs and markets.
I mean, yes, that would be great.
And
Okay,
take
see you
care of
later.
yourself, okay? Bye.
Bye.
And they turn back to the bar. And you guys step out of Untold Stories into a warm afternoon light, training your eyes towards the tomb loft. And of course, Barden, you know you might pass by your home on your way there. But I think since it is 3 p.m. PST, I think we're going to wrap our session there for today. We will be back next week. If Andre has time, I think we will see a little bit more of Foggy as well next week. Sadly, we might not have our beloved Kiara, but Oish will be returning, hopefully, as Sarah comes back.
No.
It's a one in, one out
Switch 'em out.
system.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
This
want to
is
give a
hanging.
lovely thank you to Multiverse for the beautiful map that we're using. Hopefully, you get to see a little bit more of Nook next week. To Soundtel for our sound, to Andre for joining us, Sloan, our amazing producer, and everyone who was in chat today. So good to see you guys. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.